ladies and gentlemen. Am I not? Yes, Easter Sunday already. So it wasn't long ago. We said this is Ash Wednesday, the start of 40 days, 40 nights, if I remember rightly, of spiritual Pilates. Now that's all over. We can, like most gym people, still do their exercises, even though things have changed. And this will be short, sharp and to the point because I've got to go and do a funeral. Not in the next state or the next planet, but I mean it's far enough away for me to have to take an hour to get there. So on Easter Sunday we're going to talk about, of course, the empty tomb, which is an extraordinarily powerful symbol. The reality is that most church-going Christians will need to have a simple statement: the fact is that Jesus rose from the dead and that's it. They would then have to wait until the next episode, which is Jesus ascends into heaven, and the next episode, which is the Holy Spirit of Jesus descends on the assembled disciples. But that's the sequence in churches. What the rest of us out here in the open market, so to speak, or free range Catholics and Christians, is that we've got to get Jesus out of the grave, and he has to be free range. You see, otherwise he'll fall under the influence of the keepers of the cemetery, who don't easily, if ever, let go of their property, all those who are buried in the cemetery. So there's a few things, there's a few points that can be made that are helpful about the resurrection of Jesus from the dead. But here I've only got a short, sharp episode from Mark's version of the Gospel. Crack of dawn on Sunday, the women came to the tomb carrying the burial spices that they had prepared, presumably, and embalming Jesus, allegedly. So they found the entrance stone rolled back from the tomb, so they walked in. But once inside, they couldn't find the body. Now that's going to keep us going for 2,000 years. They couldn't find the body. So what are we going to do? Are we going to say that Jesus walked out of the tomb? What are we going to do with it? Because it's got to have earthly use. Otherwise it's just religiosity, it's not religion. Religion is to bind us all together and to bind us with the unknown God. And Jesus is the glue. So we can't have him just disappearing. We've got to get to know this Jesus risen from the dead, you see. And in Australia, of course, it's very close to the annual celebration called Anzac, where we're remembering other dead. And I think it's the same predicament, because on Anzac Day, and probably in the US of A, we have Memorial Day and all those kinds of days, Thanksgiving days, do we just celebrate something and have buried them, or do we in fact allow them to come out of the grave? And the spirit of Anzac, let it free in the Commonwealth of Australia, which would mean not just a little comforting 5-minute service on Anzac Day with a bugle blowing, the last post, but also to take on board what would the spirit of these soldiers be saying to us in 2014, you see. And don't come to the conclusion that they would be reinforcing the status quo, because I think they'd have a few critical things to say, would they not, about how we treat one another and how we treat strangers, I would think. But anyway, that's for Sunday, so we're going to leave it at that, because I better go to the cemetery myself, not hopefully never to come back, but to see some other person safely, his remains, into the ground. So happy Easter, but I hope to see you on Sunday at 12 noon.